Okay, so as you can see, when I start with Tableau, the first screen that comes is some sample workbooks are given to you. These are the sample workbook which are already installed when you install your Tableau 2021. Okay, and you also have some sample data stores, or you can say data sets. Now, in this case, we have a Excel file, which is known as your Superstore, okay, which is already installed along with the software. So I'll be using that throughout the sessions. And if we require, especially when we do some project or some assignment, that time I'll provide you the data set so that you can work on that as well. Okay, so today, what we'll do is we'll get connected to the Excel file. So instead of, okay, we also have an option of Tableau server. Now, because we have not installed Tableau server, neither we are going to get connected to online server as well. Okay, we are going to connect to a file. Okay, so under the file option, we are going to use Microsoft Excel. So let me click on this. I won't go from here because last time I showed you from here itself. I'll start from this area, how to get connected to an Excel file. So you have to click here, okay, and you have to go to this particular folder now because it is directly understand where the sample file is. It is coming here to this folder. If by chance in your case, it does not give you the current folder where you have the sample data store, what you can do is you can go to this documents folder, okay. Now, under this, you have a folder which is created here. You can see this My Tableau repository where we have all the other folders. So I just click on this. Okay, so these are the folders which are created here, and I'm looking for data source. So I have to go to the data source folder here. Okay, and in this is the latest version of the file, that is 2021.2. That is the folder where the files are stored. So I can click on here, again here, and this is the sample data set, you can say. Okay, and it's an Excel file. It is of a older version, that is of 2000, I think 97 Windows, Excel 97 version. Okay, it is not the latest version. So older version of a file is there. So do not try to save this in the latest version. Do not modify this file from Excel at all. Okay, you have to just, whatever we are going to do, we'll be doing in the Tableau. Okay, so I click on this, click on open. Okay, now as soon as I do that, you can see this, you have got a new connection which got established. So a connection has been created with Microsoft Excel, and it has used this Superstore as my database. Okay, so now my sample database is Superstore, and these are my tables which are available. So I have an orders table, I have people, and we have the returns table here. Okay, and we are going to look at this name ranges also later on, but this is not in Excel right now. In Excel, if you open this file outside using the Excel software, you'll find this 3 sheets available there. Okay, and lots of records in it. Now, whenever I want to access a particular table or a sheet, okay, I have to just drag and drop it. Okay, so here you can see this is the area where I can drag a table here. Okay, so this is, it says drag tables here. Okay, and this is the area where we will get all the columns. So a spreadsheet type of a you can say rows and columns will appear in this particular area here. So let us drag and drop the orders table here. So this is my table. I just drag it and drop it here. Okay, now as soon as I do it, because this is just a single table, I can also drag and drop multiple tables. And when I do multiple tables, what happens? A relationship between the 2 tables get created. Okay, if it is not getting created, if the names of the columns are different, then you have to go and do it on your own. Okay, if the names are kept similar, then the relationship gets created, and it helps us to extract multiple records from two different tables or different, you can say, data sets. Okay, right now we are going to just make use of one table. Okay, so I have dragged and dropped this orders table here. And here below this, you can see this, these are the columns which are getting highlighted. So I have a row ID, order ID, okay, and so on. So if I just drag this across, you can see these many columns are available right now. Okay, and similarly, if you look at the number of rows, these are the number of rows, many are there. Okay, and they have said, no, the maximum I'm showing here is 1000 rows. If you want, you can go to the next, this also. So click here to access the other records. If you have the other records, it will go to that. Fine. Now, looking at the columns, there are some small icons which you can see on the top here. So you can see this one, which is a hash symbol. So your hash symbol usually represents a numeric value. Okay, so a numeric value is returned in case of the hash, numeric values in case of, especially here in case of the row ID. Okay, and wherever you see this ABC written, like this one here and here also, okay, this ABC indicates a string value, okay, or you can say alphanumeric value, but in terms of data types, we can call it as string, okay, and this is your numeric value. Then we also have date time. So this is your date and time. You can see this order date, then ship date, and so on. Okay. Now, wherever we have given a particular, like for example, the country and the region. Okay, this is your geotags, your geolocations. Okay, in that case, you're going to get this global sign. You can see this symbol out here, which is a globe symbol, which indicates that it is related to some location. Okay. And, in this case, because it identifies the different data type, which is there in Excel, you get it automatically. But if you're adding a new column, let us say you are creating a new column, which is calculated by you based on the other columns which are available. In that case, you have to specify the data type. Okay, so data type is something, we'll come to this topic of data type and the different data types which are supported by Tableau as well. Okay, so what I'll do is now, one more thing I would like to show you this type of connection. Now, this is a live connection with this particular database, that is your Superstore, and I'm accessing the orders table. So whatever changes happen on that particular table will get reflected here as well. Okay, now this is your data source which is created. So you can see below this here, the data source tab is there, and we have another tab which is created for you, so which says go to worksheet. Okay, so when I click on this, we can also click on the different options available here. So I can create a new worksheet here, or I can also add a dashboard, and here I can add a story. Okay, basically you'll learn all this concepts, because ultimately the final, you can say the output of a project in case in Tableau would be a story which you'll be creating, which will be a collection of, you can say, dashboards and worksheets all together. Okay, so it will create a proper story for you. We'll see the definitions of all these terms later on. Okay, now this is the other view. Like we saw last time also, we can easily drag and drop any column from here on this area, which will actually represent my the graphs, the charts, or even the tables which I'll be creating. Okay, and here you can see my data, which is getting, this is the orders table, which has been opened. And these are all my, you can say, columns. Okay, now there are two types, as I said, all this ABC, and this is your globe, which represent the location, and all this hash columns are representing the number values. Okay, now this area is again a very important area, which is divided into three parts, which says pages. We'll come to pages again when we have multiple pages. If I am adding any filter, I'll get it here. So for filters, I can drag and drop here. And this is your marks. So marks will be again columns which can be entered here based on colors, size, text, details, and tooltips. So when we are actually practicing it, we'll see more about this marks tab, you can say. Okay. Now the rows and the columns area is this one here. So this is my column. So whatever content I want in the column has to be, dragged and dropped here. And this is for the rows. Okay. You can also drag and drop it here. So drop field here, you can say that will get automatically placed in the rows or the columns as well. Okay. And we have a very, interesting, you can say, option here, which says show me. Okay. Now in show me, you will have the different types of graphs which are available or charts which are available. And the use of this area, actually what happens in Tableau is based on the data type. Okay, when you drag and drop it, automatically Tableau is smart enough to decide which chart type you would like to see, and only those chart types get highlighted or gets enabled. Right now you can see these all are disabled. Okay, you cannot click on this because I have not dragged and dropped any of the the columns in the in this sheet one. Okay, and that's why they are disabled. Okay, they'll get enabled depending on the type of data which I'm trying to portray or present or analyze. Okay, and similarly you will find one or two types also getting enabled. Okay, so you can switch between one graph type to the other as well. Okay, now before we actually take any example, I would just like to show you all the menu options which we have. So if you look at the first menu option of the file menu option, so let us go to that. This is my first menu option here. Now in the file type, you can see there are many options. Some of them are very common ones like new, open, close, save as. This you might have used in other software applications as well. Okay, like in Excel, you might have used it last time, where when we have to create a new workbook, in this case, I have to click on new. Okay, and if I have to open a workbook which is already present in my laptop here, so I'll be using the open option. Okay, I can also close the workbook and open a new one. I can save it, click on Control S or press Control S to save it. And I can also save it as using the save as option, because there are different types of files in which I can save my workbook. Okay, I'll show you that as well with different types of extensions which is provided. Now coming to the most important, you can say in this menu option, something called workbook locale. You can say locale is something where we can set the language. Okay, the language for the reports that will be created through Tableau can be set from here. Okay, now by default it is already English. You can see this English India is there. Now it is automatically picking up based on my system configuration. So my laptop, when I install the operating system, I might have selected a language like English India or US or UK, whatever. Okay, based on that, it is already picking up the language for me. Okay, so if you want, you can also change this. Okay, if you're not happy with the way the reports are generated, the language, if you want, you can set the language to be used in all the reports. Then we have this option called paste option. Now this paste option is getting disabled right now because it's not selected, but we also have an option of paste a sheet. Okay, that's one option which comes, which is to paste, or we can copy a sheet, a worksheet from might be some other workbook, or might be in this also. If you want, you can copy from here and paste it in some other workbook as well. Okay, so even copy paste of workbooks, or sorry, sheets are allowed in Tableau. Okay, we also have options of exports. Okay, there are different options available. So if I want to export this as a PowerPoint, I can do that. Okay, we are not going to look into this right now. Okay, but this is the most important one, that is export packaged workbook. Okay, so when I say packaged workbook, here I want to create a packaged workbook for the other users to use it. Okay, so that I can carry it with me or give it to some other user so that he can use it. And the packaged workbook will have different types of files in it, along with the data set as well. So when we come to the different types of files, that time we'll see this again. Okay, so this will help me, share the packaged workbook with the other users, and that's how we can export this. And if suppose we want to, we have got a packaged workbook and I want to import that, even that can be done from this import option here. Okay, so import workbook is also available if you have carried some workbook from the other users as well. Okay, so these are some of the, you can say, options which you will be using. Now there's one option here to change the location of your, files which are stored. So if I want to change that, by default, like when you install the application or your software, you will find that in my documents, that folder of the data set is all created there. And by default, it is going to store all my content there. Okay, like at the beginning only when I opened that file to select the data source of Superstore, okay, you saw that I went to my document. Okay, under that there was a folder which got created for Tableau, and under that again there are multiple folders and so on. Okay, so even locations, if you're not happy with C drive, you want to put it in D drive, because in many cases what happens that if your machine gets corrupted or something and you have to format your laptop, then in that case, you need to format the C drive, okay, more often. Or anything goes wrong, C drive will be formatted. Okay, so keeping your data in another drive is the best practice you can follow. So do not store all your contents, especially in the C drive or My Documents. What you can do is you can create another folder in D drive with the name of Tableau, or some name you can give of your own, which you are used to or comfortable with. And you can always set that location here. Okay, so you can click on this. I'll just show you. And like right now it is already been set here. So what you can do is you can go to say, I have D drive and E drive as well. So you can go to any one of them and select the folder and set the drive. Okay, that can happen. Okay, right now I'm not going to do anything right now. So I just cancel this. Okay, that is one important thing if you want. And I will suggest that you go for that. Okay, please create a new drive. If you do have only a single drive, do a partition. Okay, and on the other drive, you can install your software as well. If you don't want to install on C drive, you can create a folder with the name program file and install all your softwares there, so that, whenever, suppose your machine goes down, you need not download Tableau again and install it again. What you can do is only format the C drive, run the operating system, and it is up again, because the main software, the Tableau software, is installed on D drive. Okay, that is the advantage which, or some other drive, that will be the advantage which you will have in case of any crash, okay, in of your laptop or your desktop, whatever you're using. Okay, that is a suggestion, you can take it. The other menu option is your data menu option here. You can see this one. I'll come here. Now, because we have already opened a data source, you also can create, you can see this getting ticked here. It has been, already selected and active right now. You can always come here and edit your data source or refresh the data source, so that whatever changes have happened in, you can see the files there in the sheets, okay, that will get reflected here. That can be done through refresh option. You can view the data as well. You view data, we already saw the data, so we'll go back to that particular slide there. You can do rename, and you can create a duplicate copy. Extract data, we'll see later on. Right now we are using the live data. Okay, so extract data is another option which can be used. Okay, and each of them we are going to see this. Okay, and we can also publish the data which we have. So publish to the server, it'll get this data set from my local machine. It will get saved on the server as well. Okay, I can export that as a CSV file. Right now it is an Excel file. Okay, so multiple things can be done with this database, which is open right now. And the other option is the new data source. So if I want to, allow to view all the types of it. So if I click on this new data source, the same screen, you can see the previous screen where last time I showed you, where all the data types. So you name it and it is available here. Okay, so it can I can directly get connected here. Okay, so let me go back. So I'm back here. I can click on data again. So what will happen, a new data source will allow me to view all the types of connections which are available. And from there, I can make a choice. Okay, so right now I've chosen the Excel file. Then the refresh all extract option is also there. This one, which is right now disabled. It is disabled because I'm not using a extract. I'm using a live connection. Now, refresh all extracts will actually refresh the data source. So all the data, any changes happened, will get refreshed, and I'll get the latest data or the changes which has happened to that data. That can be coming from this option here. Now, we also have the edit blend relationships. Okay, now edit relationship usually is an option to define the fields in more than one data source. If suppose I have multiple data sources and I want to link or show the relationship between two, you can say data sources, so two tables as such. So I can have a relationship, I can create a relationship. Okay, so that can also happen from your. Okay, so these are some of the options which you can go through in your data menu tab. Then coming to your worksheet, you might have also used worksheet in Excel. It is similar to that. So we have this worksheet by default. You can see this one down here, worksheet. Sheet 1 gets created here. Okay, so whenever I add one more, if I click on this, say I click on this, I get another worksheet here. Okay, so these are my sheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, and so on. I can create multiple sheets from this. Okay, and whenever I want to rename it, I can right click on this and rename this sheet as well. Or I can suppose I have a very good format of chart on my sheet 1, and I want to make some minor changes here and there. So what I can do is I can create a duplicate copy of that. So a duplicate copy of sheet 1 can be created, and I can rename that sheet and then use that same sheet. So lots of work is, you can say, which needs to be repeated, will not be repeated. And I can make the modification changes in my new sheet and get two different sheets, which is representing two different, you can say, scenarios or, the charts that can be represented. Okay, so duplicate can be done. Okay, so or you can also, if you want, you can delete this. So I have deleted this because it was blank. I don't require this right now. Okay, so under this worksheet, okay, we have show title, show caption. Now this is the title which is coming. Right now caption is not selected. And if you want, you can just view the summary of the data used in the worksheet. So if I say show summary, okay, so right now no data has been used, so there's nothing that is coming up. Okay, so when we come, because it is enabled right now, so next time I'll get something here. Okay, right now you can see this is moving because I have selected only two options, title and sort controls. Okay, there are only two options which has been selected right now. Now allow, if I say show summary, it will allow to, allows us to view the summary of the data which is used on the worksheet, such as the count and so on. That will be shown here. The tooltips shows the tooltip when we hover over the, a particular item. So if I select this, say tooltip, okay, so this is a tip. If I give some tip here, edit some tip, you can do that. Add something or reset and show the tooltips. So some tips are already there. So if I come here, if I have a tool, let us say come here. So you can see this tooltip coming up. Okay, that is active right now. Okay, so if you want, you can also set that, but it is not required because it has already been set as per the standards. Okay, so do not make any changes here. Okay, then we also have the run update option. So this one, which is right now disabled, this option helps us to update the, the worksheet data, or even the filters. If I have applied some filters here, so even the filters will get updated as well. Okay. Then coming to your dashboard, dashboard is like I said, this option here. I can create a dashboard from here as well. Okay, so it says new dashboard, so it can be added from here. So we are going to create a dashboard which will have different sheets or different graphs on one particular, you can say, dashboard, which will reflect any changes which is happening to my data set there as well. Okay, in which we have options like format, then actions, export image, and so on. Now, format is to set the layout in terms of colors and sections of the dashboard. So if I want to set a unique color, or if the company wants a particular combination of colors also for your dashboard, that can be done from your format. And action is, you can see a link, it links the dashboard sheets to, the external URL or some other sheets as well. So again, your action is also important. So this one, okay, action will help me link my, dashboard sheets with the other sheets in, or the external URLs as well. Okay. Whereas your export image is available here. You can copy the image, export the image. Now this can help me, export an image of the dashboard. So the dashboard which I have created, if I want to share that image with someone, I want to show it. I don't want to share the file. I want to just show the image of that particular dashboard. I can always export the dashboard, okay, and pass it on to someone, or you can also make use of copy image and so on. Okay, so these are some of the options which we will see when we come to the topic of dashboard. Whereas in the case of the story menu, okay, again, we have less minute. Okay, I want you all to rejoin when the meeting gets over, because I want to take one small example as well. Okay, so coming to your story menu, this menu is actually used to create new stories, which has many sheets and or even dashboards with some related data in it. Okay, so under this we have options like format, copy, run update. Okay, run update, as I said, will be to update the story with the latest data. So the data source which we have, that gets updated, and my story will also get updated in a way. I can also export the image, so image can be exported of the story, and it can be shared. Format is again to set the layout in terms of the colors and the selection of the story. That can also be done using the format option. Okay, and then comes your analysis, in which we can create multiple, you can say, sheets from here. Okay, some measures. Okay, this menu is used to analyze the data, okay, which is presented in the sheet. And Tableau also provides many, out of the box features in in this menu, such as calculating the percentage and performing the forecast and so on. So we can do forecasting as well. Okay, you can see this right now, it is disabled. Fine, and forecast usually actually shows a forecast based on the available data, which is active right now. Okay, then we have this trend lines as well. Trend lines will show the trend lines for the series of data. If you have series of data which is portrayed, then I can make use of the trend line. We can also create the calculated fields. So if you have any fields to be created, which is not available in your data set, and it is based on the calculations, then I can use this create calculated field, and that will get added to my data set as well. Not to the data Excel file, please remember, but it will be a part of the data set in Tableau. Okay, so we have a very good option to create additional fields, which is based on the calculations from the existing fields as well. Okay, so these are some of the options here in analysis, which will come. Totals will, if you want to see the grand totals and so on, we'll also see this as well in the tables. So when we are doing the analysis, we'll come to this total option also. Okay, then we have this map option. This map menu is actually a map view in Tableau. Okay, you can assign geographic roles in to fields in your data if you want. Okay, so we have this option available. Okay, so when we come to this particular option, we'll see how to do it. So geocoding actually can be done, and geocoding is nothing but creating new geographic roles and assigning them to the geographic fields which we saw, the ones which have that globe sign in it. Okay, those type of fields that can be done here. Then we have this format options. Format is, again, we have the borders, titles, caption, then the cell size. We can, if you want, you can change it, the fonts, the alignments, and so on. Okay, these are very common ones which are also available in other, you can say, softwares. Some additionals are also available here. Okay, so briefly, you can say we have gone through all the menu option. Server, we have not used a server here. So we are not going to make use of server any in this particular syllabus, because we are not going to get connected to any server as such. Okay, so I'm not going to explain you much about this server option. But yes, if you have online server or something, if you have on a LAN system, if a server is installed in your, let us say you're working for some organization and they have a Tableau server installed, where basically all of them are sharing their worksheets or whatever data sets they have created, that can be done. So I can sign into that particular server from here, and we can share the data or the data source. You can make it public. You can assign the works to the data set. Okay, you can also change the properties if you have the admin access to the server as well. But that is not a part of the syllabus anymore. Okay, Windows and help. This is whenever you want help, you can always make use of this as well. Okay, so before the time gets over, we'll take a small example, and I'm just going to drag and drop some fields here and there. Even you can try this out if you're online. If not, then later on you can just take a look at how I'm doing it, and then you can also try with your PCs. Okay, so what I'll do is from this table, I'll take the category column. So we have a category column here, and this one, the top, which is saying a text field. It is a string content. And I also have this region. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop this to here. So let us put the category in the column first. So I'll just take this one and I can put it here. Okay, now as soon as I do that, I get this, you can see categories. So I can increase the size here. Let me increase it further. So I have furniture, I have office supply, and I have technology. Okay, these are some three categories which I have. Then I want to put the region in the rows column. So I put this here. Okay, so I have 4 regions as well: Central, East, South, and West. Okay, one more thing, please remember, the first thing you do is whenever you actually start practicing on this data set, please go through the data set, and try to understand what is stored in that data set, because that is going to help you understand what we can do with the data set. Okay, what are the columns, what are the contents of that particular, you can say, columns. So what you can do is, in this data source here, in this column, you can just go through the data and just have a look of what are the things. Like, for example, when I look at the ship mode, then we have the different types of class. So standard class, second class, might be first class is also available, something like that. Okay, then we have this segment. So we have consumer, we have this corporate segment. Okay, then under this, this is a database which is of US. So that gives you an idea. So the country, you can see this US, might be some other country also is there. Okay, then the different types of, you can say, states are there. So all this, it will give you an idea of what this particular data set is holding. Here you can see we have category and we also have subcategories. So that is one more thing which we'll look at later on. We have this product name and so on. So please do go through this data set whenever you get time. And coming back to this particular table which just got created. So what happened was I got a category here in the columns, and I got rows in the region in the rows. Okay, and you can see this ABC. This is some content which I need. Okay, so some numerical value has to be displayed here. So what I'll do is I'll pick up, let us pick up sales value. So here I have this hash values here. So I'll pick up sales. Okay, and I can drop it here. So let me drop it here first. Okay, now this is going to, I put it here, all the columns. Now this, from here, if I want, I can put it in the text as well. So this, because I've dropped it here, let me come back. I don't want this sales value. I'll drag it and drop it on this text. Okay, as soon as I do this, what happens? You can see this icon here. It says T. Okay, because I have put it on the text. So this is the text which will be available under here. So it is summing up all the sales value depending on the category of my, items. So this is furniture, then this is your office supply and technology and the region. So this is like just like a pivot table, which we used to do in Excel. Okay, so I've got a proper table which got created by just dragging and dropping some few, you can say, columns here and there. And one more thing you might have noticed here, as soon as I do this, you can see this icons out here. You can see the charts which got enabled. Okay, so I can present this whole data. This is in a text format right now. If I want, I can present this in the chart format as well. So if I click on this, so or this, it will get changed here. So you can see this one. I've clicked here and I got a chart, and there's some changes happened here. You can see this, the column in the row, I've got the category and the region now together, and the sum value of sales have gone to the column. Okay. If I don't want this to happen, if you want, you can also change this. Let us say I want category to be in column. So I can drag and drop it here again. Okay. So what happens, it changes as per the requirement. So I can just reduce this. Fine. So what has happened? Because I have, moving the columns, or you can say the fields from the column